Okay, what's good, everyone? It's Nigel here, Trinidad Empowerment Network. So, the US Embassy has just issued, or recently issued, within the last 48 hours, I believe, they issued a security alert for Americans in Trinidad and Tobago. You may or may not have seen this on the news recently. CARICOM leaders reaffirmed the Caribbean as a zone of peace. What's fascinating here, Trinidad Empowerment Network, what is fascinating here is Trinidad and Tobago stood alone, reserving its position, reserving its position. So now the Jamaica's leading newspapers, the Gleaner, is openly calling our government's stance irrational. And I completely agree. In, in fact, I have stronger words. I hesitate to use those words. But let's go with irrational. Irrational. So the question is, what is Trinidad and Tobago really doing here? What are we doing here? So before I unpack all of this, I want you to like and subscribe to Trinidad Empowerment Network. Please like, please subscribe. It's really easy. Thank you to each and every one of you. So let's start with the facts. Let's start with the facts. The US Embassy in Port of Spain warned its citizens to stay alert and avoid government facilities in Trinidad and Tobago. That's what they warned their citizens in Trinidad and Tobago to do. Stay alert and stay away from government facilities. This follows multiple US military strikes in the Southern Caribbean, as 10 viewers know, destroying what Washington called drug trafficking vessels. No evidence of anything so far, but they have allegedly destroyed drug trafficking vessels, killing those on board, coming from the coast of Venezuela. Washington has confirmed that B-52 bombers and special operations aircrafts were involved in these extrajudicial killings, or so they are described by Washington. They appear to me to be war crimes. Innocent fishermen from Trinidad are apparently amongst the dead. We've had a 7th strike yesterday, I believe. I'm still trying to confirm this one. So Trinidad sits, as we know, right in that theater, roughly 7 miles from Venezuela. Roughly 7 miles from Venezuela. So when Washington warns its citizens here in Trinidad and Tobago, it's not warning their citizens about petty crime. This is deadly serious, no pun intended. So it's about, or what we are at the minute, we are being caught between a superpower naval operation and a neighboring nation under threat. Whether you like Venezuela or not, whatever you think of them, they are our neighbors and they are under threat and we are vulnerable. The US is effectively turning our waters into a militarized zone. We are known as a demilitarized zone of peace that is slowly being eradicated by the United States. So CARICOM met and spoke with one voice about this, reaffirming that the Caribbean must remain a zone of peace, reaffirming that conflicts should be resolved through diplomacy, not force. And just about every head of government in the Caribbean, in CARICOM, agreed. Every head of government agreed, just about, except who? Trinidad and Tobago. We reserved our position. We reserved our position. No explanation, no clarification, nothing. We reserved our position. This, ladies and gentlemen, is unprecedented. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. Now, the regional backlash is apparently growing. As I mentioned, the Jamaican Gleaner, they called Trinidad's position, Trinidad's stance, irrational, and they are correct, saying it signals tacit support for Washington's naval buildup and the violent tactics already killing Caribbean nationals. They warned this posture from Trinidad and Tobago isolates Trinidad and Tobago. It weakens CARICOM's unity, and it risks dragging the region into a US-Venezuela confrontation that has nothing to do with us, has nothing to do with the Caribbean, has nothing to do with Trinidad and Tobago. And they are right. They are correct. So let's be honest. Let's be honest. This isn't strategy. This is not strategy. It's fear. This is fear, in my opinion. Trinidad's government knows. They know our Dragon's gas deal and the energy license depend on the US OFAC approval. It depends on the US OFAC approval. So rather than offend Washington, we have chosen to side with Washington and stay silent in this case, even as 2 of our citizens were killed in international waters. Nothing heard. Crickets, as they say. Crickets. This is not diplomacy. We have submitted. This is submission. We have submitted. So CARICOM says zone of peace. The US says heightened alert. And Trinidad says we reserve our position. So ladies and gentlemen, that contradiction tells the world, it literally tells the world, we are unsure who we stand with. In fact, it's clear to Venezuela who we stand with. Our Caribbean neighbors are aware who we stand with. We clearly stand with Washington's warship. We clearly stand with Washington's warship. It's a dangerous, dangerous signal. The silence is deafening. So wise politicians hedge their bets. It's ordinary people who will pay the price and are already doing so. The fishermen, the border communities, the working class. The Caribbean was never meant to be anyone's military backyard. The Caribbean was never meant to be anyone's military backyard. We built CARICOM to protect ourselves from exactly this kind of external pressure. This is the first time in our history our region, Trinidad and Tobago, appears to have broken free from it. So the region's message is clear. We want dialogue, not domination. We want dialogue, not domination. Trinidad's refusal to join that weakens our moral position. It weakens our sovereignty. The same sovereignty we claim to defend when foreign powers exploit our gas, our oil, and indeed our people. So Trinidad Empowerment Network, this isn't about taking sides between America and Venezuela. This has nothing to do with taking sides between America and Venezuela. It's about taking a stand for ourselves. Trinidad's silence speaks volumes. Our silence is deafening, and history will remember which nations stood for peace and which one stood aside. This is a moment in history. This is a moment in history for the Caribbean. This certainly is a moment in history for Trinidad and Tobago. So I'd end by say, please like, subscribe, and as you know, knowledge is power. but silence is complicity. I'll see you guys on my next video. For now, much love. God bless. Take care. Look after each other. Peace.